fight, say Crawford, like immediately. They're not even debating it. Are they making a mistake?
Well, time will tell. I mean, in the end, if you make me pick, I'll pick Crawford.
Everyone's talking about the one fight right now, Terence Crawford versus Canelo. Who do you got?
Terence Crawford.
Terence Crawford. Why?
There underestimates Crawford's strength. That could be a mistake, okay? It only takes a few pounds of pressure to hurt a guy. You don't need to be that big of a guy to hurt a guy.
Max Kellerman issued a cautionary warning to Canelo Alvarez, suggesting Terence Crawford might be the fighter to end his career. He emphasized Crawford's sharpness, twitchy reactions, and deceptive timing. Kellerman explained that Crawford often spends the early rounds studying opponents before attacking with precision and power. He argued that Canelo's natural strength alone may not overcome Crawford's adaptability, making the potential clash a highly dangerous test.
The tough thing for Crawford is that Spence has a very high work rate, and we've seen Spence win behind the jab and defense on a world-class level. He's also a real hard hitter, and he's twitchy, and he's very aggressive. So usually Crawford likes to study a guy for a couple rounds, and then he kind of, okay, now I got it, and then he does it. But against Spence, you might have to hurt him or knock him out, because you turn around, and if Crawford messes around, it can be down 4-1 after 5 rounds, and not against the guy who's looking to survive, against the guy who's looking to beat you up. On the other hand, Spence also has to worry about the fact that he's been through a lot in his life so far. And Crawford, although he also has been really about boxing for a lot of years now. Usually that guy will have the advantage in the moment of truth. And Crawford's always made adjustments. He's probably the best adjusting fighter.
Shaquille O'Neal, the legendary NBA icon celebrated for his dominance on the court and his outspoken views on sports, has publicly declared his support for Terence Crawford ahead of the highly anticipated showdown with Canelo Alvarez. According to Shaq, Crawford stands as the best fighter of this generation and potentially one of the greatest of all time. He praised Crawford's rare ability to adapt seamlessly during a fight, combining flawless timing, surgical precision, and remarkable composure under pressure. Shaq noted that Crawford's sharp intellect and natural instincts inside the ring make him a unique talent, one capable of overwhelming even an elite opponent like Canelo. For Shaq, this matchup is more than a battle of superstars. It's an opportunity for Crawford to carve his name permanently into boxing history.
Shaq, man, listen, you're a lifelong combat sports fan. You go to all the events. Everyone's talking about the one fight right now, Terence Crawford versus Canelo. Who do you got?
Terence Crawford.
Terence Crawford. Why?
He's the best ever.
Really? You think he's the greatest ever? Over Ali, Muhammad Ali? I didn't know you were a big Terence Crawford fan like that.
You have to understand that there's eras, and in different eras, you can bring around the titles. Like, for example, Joke is the best big man.
Right.
Like,
You put Joker over you as the best big man? Oh. Eric.
It's not my era, not my time.
True.
It's their time. So he's the greatest big man in the NBA right now. So I let the people decide who. But right now, Terence Crawford is the best.
So how does Terence beat Canelo? Decision, or he's gonna knock Canelo out? So they're gonna have the fight at the Vegas Stadium, Raider Stadium. You're gonna be there?
I heard it was off.
No, it's back on. Now it's back on. It's in September 13th in Vegas. You'll be there. Front row. All right, cool. You're the man. Listen, I saw you lace up the gloves once versus Oscar De La Hoya. Can we ever see you put the gloves back on? Maybe versus Dwight Howard.
Why would I play that? Only play champions.
You only fight
See, my thing is, all these guys have a problem with me. Like, you wait till I turn 50, they say you won't fight.
Right.
I don't respect that. I'll fight Gronk, because Gronk is a champion, and he's a friend of mine, and I know he'll compete.
So you want to box Gronk or MMA?
Well, MMA.
MMA. So, hey, bigger. So you're a legend, and you're always the coolest. Congrats on another successful year, Jackson.
Former world champion Timothy Bradley gave a strong take on the looming clash, directly addressing the buzz surrounding Canelo Alvarez's sparring partners. After reports surfaced that Canelo brought in Jaron Ennis to sharpen his preparation, some speculated whether Terence Crawford might feel intimidated by the level of opposition in Canelo's camp. Bradley dismissed that idea outright, stressing that Crawford is not the kind of fighter who gets rattled by outside noise or an opponent's strategies. In Bradley's view, Crawford is built differently. His unshakable confidence, mental toughness, and proven track record show a fighter who only thrives when pressure is highest. Bradley even labeled Crawford the GOAT, praising his technical brilliance and unmatched mindset. For him, there is no doubt that the Omaha-born champion embraces challenges head-on, unfazed and fully prepared to prove his greatness against Canelo.
Jim Desert Storm Bradley. Who the hell is scared? Who's scared? I ain't scared. T ain't scared. Team Crawford ain't scared. Shit. We ain't never scared. Y'all better get it right. Shoot. Hey, Canelo, you might be getting that Chrysler 300. You getting that Chrysler 300 work right now. That's what you getting. But you ain't getting that. You getting that Bentley on the 13th. You getting that Bentley on the 13th, my boy. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead and play with that Chrysler 300. You getting the real on the 13th. I promise you, man. Shoot. I've been saying this since the first day I sparred this man. Trust me. I'm telling y'all, man, out there. Crawford is a different animal. Yeah, he's something like a Michael Jordan. He's something like a Kobe Bryant. He's something like a LeBron James. Yeah, damn it, he a GOAT. I'm telling y'all. Go. Go. When y'all gonna step up, man? When y'all gonna believe me, man? What do I gotta continue to tell y'all? We gonna figure it out. Shoot, Crawford is Ali. Crawford Sugar Ray Robinson. Crawford Mayweather. He got Mayweather in him too. Yeah. He got Hagler in him. He got Duran in him. Understand that. Y'all think this is a game, man? Y'all think I'm just blowing smoke up my mind? I'm not. No. I'm telling y'all. He gonna figure it out.
One of the most intriguing storylines surrounding this fight is the reported visit of Floyd Mayweather Jr. to Terence Crawford's training camp. Mayweather, one of the few fighters to defeat Canelo Alvarez, brings priceless insight into solving the puzzle Crawford now faces. His masterclass performance against Canelo years ago relied on flawless defense, sharp counterpunching, and frustrating the Mexican star with accuracy and discipline. For Crawford, direct access to Mayweather's wisdom means guidance from the man who already wrote the blueprint. Reports indicate Floyd emphasized patience, discipline, and capitalizing on even the smallest openings in Canelo's style. Advice that could prove invaluable.
2 losses, 2 draws, 39 big wins by way of knockout, will not learn and not be able to pick up from Jerron Boots Ennis sparring Canelo Alvarez. There's an uproar because Jerron Boots Ennis, African-American fighter, black boxer, has joined the Mexicans camp to help prepare the Mexican fighter, Canelo Alvarez, defeat another African-American fighter, which he needs Jerron Ennis to give him looks of the undefeated pound-for-pound king, 4-division world champion, 2-division undisputed world champion, superstar boxer who will be a first ballot Hall of Famer once he retires as well, in Terence Bud Crawford, who was 41 wins, no loss, no draw, 31 wins by way of knockout.
Terence Crawford's physical strength at 147 pounds has long been one of his most overlooked assets. Even after moving up from lighter divisions, he has consistently displayed impressive power, toughness, and the ability to handle bigger opponents with ease. What makes his preparation even more compelling is his sparring work with former pound-for-pound king Andre Ward. Ward, an undefeated champion and technical master, brings a level of experience and knowledge that few can match. Training alongside someone of Ward's caliber forces Crawford to refine his adaptability, sharpen his defensive awareness, and elevate his overall ring IQ. Combined with his natural strength, relentless discipline, and exposure to elite sparring, this preparation suggests Crawford may be entering the Canelo fight at his absolute peak. The message is undeniable. Bud is not only a natural winner but a fighter who perfects every detail at the highest level.
People out there who think I just sided with the black guy. I seen the comments in the last video that I did. Okay, but we have to break some things down into perspective here. First and foremost, Terence Crawford is a very strong 147 pounder. He's not a regular guy. He's not a regular 147 pounder. Another thing is, he's an extremely determined fighter. That guy's a winner. He's cut from the same cloth as the Andre Wards, the Floyd Mayweathers. You only get certain fighters that come across in a decade that have that kind of aura and that kind of determination to win. Now, we want to break it down fundamentally. Don't get me wrong. Canelo is a strong fighter. You know, he's proven himself. He got a great chin. He's fought some of the best fighters that you can ask for. But he's not that much bigger if you ask me. They're about the same size and height. Now, don't get me wrong. He's a little bit wider. He's a little bit, thicker, right? Like, as far as his frame goes.
Veteran analyst Max Kellerman has called the upcoming showdown the single biggest event of his broadcasting career. Despite covering countless iconic moments in boxing, he insists that Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford carries a weight that surpasses them all, including the heavily hyped Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson spectacle. In Kellerman's view, this isn't just another fight, but a collision between two pound-for-pound greats representing different eras and contrasting styles. Canelo embodies modern boxing dominance, while Crawford symbolizes technical brilliance, adaptability, and underdog resilience. What makes this bout so special, Kellerman argues, is its purity. Two champions meeting without excuses, delays, or politics. For him, the anticipation isn't just about massive viewership numbers, but about the lasting legacy both fighters are putting on the line.
Where would you rank this fight out of your top 3 to 5 of all the boxing fights you've called, you've experienced, you've watched?
In terms of the magnitude
yeah,
of
the magnitude,
fight?
yeah.
I mean, of the fights that I've called ringside, it might turn out to be number 1. I've done Pacquiao fights, I've done Mayweather fights, I've done Anthony Joshua against Klitschko. Those are big fights, but this will, listen, because of Netflix, this will be the most watched fight, championship fight, in almost 50 years. This is going to be because Muhammad Ali fought Leon Spinks in the rematch in '78, and they did 90 million TV sets. 90 million. And since then, what has even come close? The biggest fights have all been on pay-per-view, and they do 2 million buys. Oh my God, 4 million buys Mayweather Pacquiao. As I keep saying, if 5 people per TV set watch, per buy, watch, that's 20 million people. This is going to do multiples of that. So, so when you look at it from like a commercial point of view, it'll easily be the biggest boxing event I've ever.
Some analysts argue that the version of Canelo Alvarez who shows up on fight night will be the decisive factor in the outcome. Critics point out that his recent performances have lacked the explosiveness, speed, and sharp precision that once defined his prime. To defeat Terence Crawford, many believe Canelo must rediscover the relentless pressure, destructive combinations, and tireless stamina of his earlier years. If he fights too cautiously or underestimates Crawford's timing, he risks being systematically broken down. Experts stress that Canelo's legacy hangs in the balance, and only by summoning the very best version of himself can he quiet the critics and
in regards to Canelo's meaty workout. So what do we see there? We see a little bit of what he wants to do to take advantage of a right-hand southpaw matchup. Get his lead foot on the outside, bang the right hand down the pike, set it up with the jab, and maybe even fire that jab at the lead hand of Crawford and just get it touch, step outside right hand down the middle. We saw Canelo doing a lot of cross-stepping, which is, I think, a bad idea versus someone who has good angle manipulation like Crawford does. Right? Every wasted movement is going to be a capitalization for Crawford to try to fire back on. And Canelo is going to be there to be hit with some counter punches. Make no mistake about it, Canelo will stand in the pocket. Yes, he'll try to make Crawford miss, but sometimes he'll even eat a couple so that he can be there behind that high guard, taking punches to look for one of the big ones on his own counter shot. So that can be a little bit of the gamesmanship too. That can be a little bit of the chess game going on, is who's going to land the bigger counter punch and how many of those can Crawford take moving up to 168 versus Canelo, who has been there and is fighting a guy that has fought at a lot smaller weight, that hasn't seen the power, like we talked about, the narratives being built, that Canelo brings at 168. Even now, all those things will come into play. I think a big important part of this fight is just how much Canelo utilizes his lead hand, because I'm telling you, it's going to be the most important thing in this fight. I really think if Canelo is back back on his jab and is able to mask some of the stuff that he loves to do, which is that lead hook to the body, smashing hook on the arms, on the body, on the shoulders. He's able to hide it just a little bit and then hit you with that timing, that Canelo Alvarez timing that's been perfect, that put down Amir Khan, that put down Billy Joe Saunders, that found the button on Kovalev. Those punches, that timing, it's not just speed, it's not just power, it's the throwing in between, it's finding the right shot. Those things can make all the difference in the world, because I would almost bet everything I own that a Canelo lands clean on Crawford, it's going to have far more of an effect than Crawford landing clean on Canelo. And that's not even because both guys don't possess power. Crawford possesses power. He's put a lot of guys down. Canelo, we've seen, has an iron chin, and I watched Crawford get rocked by Gamboa. Again, different time period, I get that, but I don't think that as you get older, and even as you go up in weight, that somehow makes you more readily available to take flush punching.
Boxing legend Andre Ward has emphasized the significance of the upcoming showdown, stating that no matter who emerges victorious, the real winner is the sport itself. Ward explained that in today's boxing landscape, where negotiations and promotional politics often block the best from fighting the best, matchups of this magnitude are incredibly rare. He credited key figures such as Turki Alalshik and Dana White for their efforts in making the fight possible, acknowledging their crucial role in creating a historic event. According to Ward, fans worldwide have long demanded nights like this, where pound-for-pound greats collide at the peak of their powers. Ward also addressed one of the biggest pre-fight questions: whether Terence Crawford could handle Canelo Alvarez's renowned punching power. Canelo, considered one of the sport's most dangerous hitters, has historically troubled smaller fighters moving up in weight. Yet recent training footage has altered that perception. Videos reveal Crawford appearing stronger, bulkier, and more comfortable at the higher weight class, all while maintaining his sharpness and agility. This transformation has silenced critics and shifted the narrative. Many analysts now argue that the added size has only enhanced Crawford's natural gifts, equipping him with the tools to match Canelo's strength while retaining his speed and precision.
Right, and again, stark contrast to what Terence Crawford is having to deal with. He is fighting guys, and when I say cutting down from 100, he's probably in the ring at 190 pounds, much less cutting down from it. Crawford's probably used to being hit by guys like Sean Porter, who, you know, maybe 160 pound on fight night. The difference is just night and day. So I was thinking, how in God's name are you going to get around that? How are you going to get around the strength disadvantage? Because Crawford is very physically strong, and he normally always has, maybe with the exception of Sean Porter, although that was kind of much of a muchness. Sean Porter did really well that fight. He's normally always had the physical strength advantage, very physically strong as Terence Crawford. And I just remember thinking, how are you going to get around that? You know, you're used to hitting guys and they get hurt. Alvarez has been hit by Danny Jacobs. He's been hit by Triple G. He's been hit by Bivol, Kovalev, Callum Smith, etc., etc., etc. Big punching guys who are a lot bigger than Terence Crawford. Granted, skillful, a lot bigger. So again, I'm thinking, how are you going to get around this? Well, Crawford has released a couple of training clips, and in those training clips, yikes, he's looking good for one. He's looking a lot better than Canelo was looking in some of his training clips. But again, you can't read a great deal into those training clips because, again, Alvarez is clearly holding back. You know, people say, "Oh, he looked terrible." It's like, well, you can kind of tell he's not going full tilt. You know, you can kind of tell that. So, what does that tell you? You know, how many times have we seen guys look good on the pads, and then on fight night they've nothing left? I distinctly remember Alexander Povetkin in the run-up to the second Dylan White fight in an open workout. Man looked really good in the pads. That was in Gibraltar. Man looked really good in the pads. Really good. Didn't look good on fight night, did he? So, you know, you can't read a great deal into it. Yeah, if you can tell they're trying, they look complete.
Comedian and actor Faizon Love grabbed attention with his bold prediction for the upcoming fight. He described Terence Crawford as a bad man in the best sense, dangerously skilled inside the ring, and declared with confidence that Bud will win regardless of Canelo Alvarez's resume. Love dismissed the idea that Canelo's long list of past opponents gives him an advantage, arguing instead that Crawford's adaptability, intelligence, and killer instinct make him the superior fighter. For Love, the matchup isn't about Canelo's history, but about the present reality. Crawford is in his prime, driven, and eager to cement his legacy. His comments echo the
Well, are you a boxing fan?
Yeah.
Canelo versus Crawford.
Crawford all day.
Now,
Crawford all day.
Now, according to betonline.ag, Canelo is favored -172. Crawford is an underdog at plus 151.
Oh, good.
So that means if you bet $172 on Canelo, you'll get $100 back. Almost 2-to-1 odds.
Wait, are you saying Canelo is the
He's
under?
favored. No, Canelo's favored.
Oh.
So that means Crawford. So with Crawford, if you bet $100 on Crawford, you'll get $151 back. Meaning that he is basically
Underdog.
He's the underdog. They'll say that he's going to lose. Now Crawford is undefeated. Canelo had a couple defeats like Mayweather, but in general, he's been doing it a bit longer. And Canelo's naturally bigger.
So
you give it to Crawford?
I'm going to bet on Crawford.
Is it because he's black? And Canelo's Mexican.
No, because Crawford. Bud's a bad.
Yeah.
Bud's a bad. The only Shea interview I liked was with him and Crawford.
Okay.
Did you see that? It was a really good interview.
Okay.
He was showing him how to fight. And Shea kept getting tired. He's like, and he just kept it 100. They was in the ring. He showed him how to box. Because I always thought I had to slap Shannon. Well, you know, I was like, at some point, me and Shannon gonna mix it up, but not no longer. It's all love. And he can't fight. He's just a big dude. And Crawford was. Can we scratch that? But yeah, he can't fight. He was in there with Crawford, and Crawford was.
Well, look, Canelo is 63-2-2 with 39 knockouts. Crawford is 41-0 with 31 knockouts. So more knockouts per fights, percentage-wise.
Crawford?
Yeah, but Crawford has to go up in weight. Canelo's naturally bigger and stockier.
That's just technically.
Yeah, I mean, but that does matter.
Not really.
Crawford is taller. He's at 5'8", 74-inch reach.
When is his fight?
September 13th, 2025. It's going to be on Netflix. So it's going to be free.
Is it in Vegas?
Yeah.
That's all for today's video. Stay tuned.